Alexander Povetkin's promoter is basically saying that if they get a win over Dillian Whyte at the weekend, then they want the WBC to make Povetkin the mandatory challenger, which by default, whoever wins on Saturday should be. But this is the reality of it, okay? Whoever wins on Saturday is going to be given the interim belt, which, as you can see, is currently held by Povetkin, okay? So let's play devil's advocate. Let's say that Dillian Whyte wins on Saturday. He goes from number 6 back up to the interim world heavyweight champion. But he's not going to even potentially look at getting that shot for at least another 18 months. I mean, if we're still going on the assumption that Fury and Joshua are actually fighting this year, which I don't think they will, but let's say they do, Fury's out for the rest of 2021. You know, if he's having a bout with Joshua in June, July, then another one in December, then this year's a write-off. And let's say that the Fury-Joshua 2 fight is in December. He's going to have at least 6-7 months off, you know. And even by that point, who's to say Fury's even going to want to fight Dillian Whyte? Let's say the WBC do finally say to Fury or Joshua, whoever's holding the WBC at that point, you have to fight the mandatory challenger, and our mandatory challenger is Dillian Whyte. I cannot see, let's say it's Fury, I cannot see Team Fury working with Team Whyte. There is no chance. Tyson Fury would rather vacate that belt than give Dillian Whyte a title shot. Honestly, the only way I see Dillian Whyte getting a title shot with the WBC is if he either gets a voluntary off of someone, and that ain't going to be Fury, or if he's fighting for a vacant belt. I can see Fury doing these 2 fights with Joshua, if he does do them, and just saying, do you know what, I've made millions and millions, I'm done, and just vacating. I can't see Fury being in the sport for years and years. Joshua's probably only got another 3 years at the highest level before he's going to start to decline. Fury hasn't got much more than that as well. You know, he's 32 now. So yeah, I mean, but, you know, going back to the article itself, you know, it's Povetkin's promoter, who is someone called Andrei Rybinski. Hopefully I haven't butchered that name. Is obviously saying that he believes that Alexander Povetkin is still up there in the top tier of heavyweights despite his age, which I now believe he is, 41. Let's have a look what it says. Sorry people, just having a look. Yeah, so basically he's just saying that the promoter says that he views the contest as being a huge risk for Whyte, as a second loss would certainly end his run as a top tier heavyweight. I think if Whyte loses, yes, the journey as far as capturing the WBC is certainly over, but I think he should probably take a step back and say, right, I probably can't mix it with the top boys. Should I look at the other governing bodies, or should I just look at fighting for a European title, which I think he should have done years ago, but that's just my opinion. Yeah, so he says here that naturally a victory will demonstrate that Alexander is one of the leading contenders for a world champion title. Once again, in many consecutive years, Povetkin will prove that he belongs to the very elite of the heavyweight division. I'm sure that the victory in the rematch will make it clear to everyone that Alexander deserves another fight for the world title. And I hope that the WBC will not delay the appointment of a mandatory title defence. Well, that's the thing, is how long's a piece of string? Because I just see this going around in circles. I think there's a better chance of Team Povetkin and Team Fury working something out if Povetkin becomes the interim champion again on Saturday than there is versus Team Whyte and Team Fury working something out. I cannot see that fight. You know, like I said, I think Fury would rather just vacate the belt than fight Whyte. Not because he thinks Whyte will beat him. I just can't see those teams working. You know, I think you've got Warren and Hearn on those teams at the moment, and look, I know a lot can happen in another 18 months, but I can just never see that fight. But what do you reckon, people? Who's got the better chance at getting a title shot against either Fury or Joshua? Whichever one of those is going to end up holding the WBC belt. Do you think Povetkin's got a better chance of getting a title shot against one of those two guys? Or do you think Dillian Whyte has? Let me know. And obviously, if you like the video, hit the thumbs up. And if you want to be notified of any time I upload a video, then please consider subscribing. Cheers.